Brought to you by Station House Coffee and Amazon Prime.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
L.A. Originals, a documentary on Netflix, came out maybe a couple weeks ago, featuring two influential artists from, I believe, the 90s in L.A. I want to say the 90s was their maybe late 90s, early 2000s. For sure the 90s. I'm talking about Cartoon and Esteban Oriol. Oriol? Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. One is a photographer / director. Cartoon is just a visual artist, I would say. He's done, obviously well known for his tattooing, but also street art, and he's done a lot of design work, logo design, graphic design work for a lot of bands throughout the 90s, like Cypress Hill, Exhibit, Blink-182. They were kind of a team. It's kind of crazy. This whole story is kind of crazy because it's about the brotherhood that they had, but also the impact that they had on the art of the time, the visual aesthetic of the 90s, the LA kind of grimy, gritty feel. It's definitely an aesthetic that I grew up on. It's like the aesthetic of my childhood, this kind of, the peak of LA gang violence. You got like, it's just the music coming out very kind of raw and real, like gangster rap was, very visceral, kind of in your face stuff. And then of course you got, the other side of it where you have like grunge, and then kind of pop punk kind of came up in that era as well. But it's the story of Cartoon and Estevan as they, do basically document. Esteban is the director of this, but he's been collecting the footage in both still form and video form the entire time. So you get to see amazing footage from all of these bands that they've worked with. You get to see the evolution of Cartoon, where he came from, and kind of his progression into tattoos, and how, because he was tattooing celebrities of the time, he became the go-to #1 requested, sought-after tattoo artist, highly paid tattoo artist. Both of these guys. And it was, their willingness, their bravery to kind of go in and do it, but it's kind of just, I don't know, it's like it's a weird thing. It's a weird journey. It's something that I wish I had, because I spent most of my 20s just having fun. I wasn't creating a whole lot of art. I was here and there, but not nearly compared to what I'm doing today. Basically took my 20s off, had a lot of fun, and then kind of started up again in my 30s. And it's kind of a time where I wish it would have been it would have been a different reality for me in San Diego, because that's where I spent my 20s. If I had just been around, I would have been around a completely different group of people, most likely. Although I did do shows here and there, but it wasn't like, I've never felt like part of an artist community. Like these guys were part of an artist community in LA, which is, if you're going to be part of an artist community somewhere, LA is not a bad place. But they also, one of the awesome things is through their journey, they got the SA Studios, where it's kind of like this warehouse where they had offices for design work and spaces to shoot, photography, and like it was down in downtown LA near Skid Row, so it's like has this whole ecosystem outside of the building of homeless people and drug addicted people, mental illness, all kinds of stuff just surviving around them. And then they had their spaces, big open spaces down below, and offices up top, which is for me a dream. One of my one of the destinations way down the road, where if given the opportunity, I would love to set up something. It would very much be very similar to the SA Studios. It would have a completely different feel. Like, I'm not doing tattooing. I'm not it would be set up differently, but having a big open studio space like that, I'd be doing podcasting. There'd be amazing editing bays. There'd be, like graphic design areas. There'd be like just art studios. There would be I want to have like a stage for comics and bands to perform. I want to have a gallery in home so the artists that use the art spaces can sell their work directly. Like I have this huge like warehouse idea, whichever given the opportunity. But when I saw the SA Studios, I'm like, well, I'm sure it's not an original idea now. Like this, it's got to be just to have a giant open space to like live and create is amazing. But the SA Studios looked amazing, and just like, yeah, to have a creative space like that. There's been moments in my life where I lived in Hillcrest in San Diego and was doing a lot of art shows, and it was I had all my neighbors in this like. We're basically roommates in this house, but we have our own apartments. They were all artists and different things, and that was one of the times where I was creating a lot. Also, just before moving out there, it was basically my first apartment by myself, which with no roommates, and my goal was this was before I got rid of cable, and this was before Netflix and Hulu and all that shit. So it was just DVDs and then reading and then making art. I made a lot of art in that kind of area of my life, but it's like I fantasize this a lot. But then documentary also covers what happened when the economy crashed, which is happening right now also. And they lost the SA Studios. Just overall, how art and different things are produced now is completely different. It's very much a DIY, like going small, going portable, learning how to do multiple things. Like, like comedians had to learn how to engineer podcasts, and artists are learning how to set up websites to sell their artwork. And you get to see what happened with Esteban and Cartoon. There's this like conversation Esteban is having about Instagram and how frustrating it is that like he'll put up amazing work that he's super proud of and it gets no traction on there, but then he'll put up a picture of his dog and it gets like 1 million likes, which I feel you, man. Like every time I'm releasing something like a Photoshop, or I'm releasing a painting, or like I'm super proud of it, and it just ends up. It usually is one of the least. It gets the least amount of traction. I'm surprised at the things that do get traction, but I'm also very familiar with the world. Like when my whole goal has been to do online only. Like I've experimented with doing shows and going, showing which there is a lot of advantage to showing your work in person, locally. Networking is a very completely different thing, but to be able to just sell directly through your own website, that's a freedom that I want. I want that kind of freedom. I don't want, like, I'll do live shows eventually, but that's not my primary goal. Like those are special things that I'll do. But I want to sell, and also merch. But so you get to see Esteban talking about Instagram, which I thought was hilarious and sad. And then you get to see Cartoon, who basically set up a home studio. Because if you own your studio, you can't get kicked out. Rent's not going up. They're not selling the building. They're not, all the things that happen when you rent a big space. That's why I would like to buy, like maybe get a house with a barn, or just a large, I could easily just convert my house into, if I could ever afford to buy a house, that is. But I love this documentary, man. From the start, there's so many like moments and memories from my childhood of the different artists like Eminem and Snoop Dogg and all the just like I don't know. It was kind of like a take back through memory lane, and kind of reminded me of the aesthetic that I grew up on. That why I love like gritty, grimy kind of design work. Like so much more than, I've kind of gotten into the more clean cut stuff, but I still love that just I want it to feel weathered. I want it to feel weathered. I want it to feel like it's from the streets. I've always liked that aesthetic, and it's most likely just because I grew up on it. But yeah, check out L.A. Originals on Netflix now. It's a good watch. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Station House Coffee. Order now through inspireddisorder.com/coffee for small batch, single origin, premium coffee. That's at inspireddisorder.com/coffee. Order now. It's brewed in Vermont, shipped straight to you. Order now, inspireddisorder.com/coffee. And follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Also, get 30 days free of Amazon Prime. Sign up now, inspireddisorder.com/prime. That's where you get thousands of movies and TV shows you can instantly stream. Tons of music selections, borrow Kindle books, and of course, unlimited free 2-day shipping. That's at inspireddisorder.com/prime for your free 30-day trial. Sign up now, inspireddisorder.com/prime. New episodes come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork and merch, now available over at inspireddisorder.com. Follow this show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!